There's everything about the Zimbabweans. Let them go back and go and fight there. Even when the ANC was underground in exile, we had our internal underground forces fighting for freedom.
You live in
and we have never spoken from exile. You see, let me tell you, before you are chacharach, let me tell you, this is a building of a revolutionary party. And you know nothing about the revolution.
So they're not welcome in Sandton, but you are?
Yeah, you behave or else you jump. Yeah, you don't laugh.
Good joke.
Chief, can you get security to remove this thing? If you're not going to behave, you're going to call security to take you out. This is not a newsroom, this is a revolutionary house. And you don't come here with that 10 days.
When I was premier, with my collective, not as Makashule, on behalf of the ANC, we took out 1,432 students international. The media here, this media here, will never report about that. This media here will never give me a platform the whole day like they did yesterday. This media here I can tell you that when we were there with the collective, 302 students went to Cuba to study medicine. I know those students by heart. I know there is no township or farm in the Free State which does not have a student in Cuba. There is no town. The media will think I'm lying. I will give them the names of these students.
Sir, Julian Mannion of ITN. I don't know if you remember me, sir. How do you feel being here, Mr. Mugabe? May I just ask you one question, sir? On what basis do you now regard yourself as President of Zimbabwe?
On the same basis as Mr. Brown regards himself as Prime Minister of Zimbabwe. Precisely on that basis.
You don't want your security man here to beat me up in front of you, I'm sure.
Yeah, but don't ask stupid questions.
Okay, but then, sir, say what you would like to say, sir.
Please.
But we are not a British colony.
Come on,
you must know that.
Tell him again.
We are not a British colony.
At that point, I was wrestled away by Zimbabwean and Egyptian security men. But the man who still calls himself President of Zimbabwe had plenty more that he wanted to say.
What have the British to do with Zimbabwe? Who are you? You bloody idiots.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to challenge you on one of the statements that you made in the tail end of the campaign in the midterms.
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election to try to keep...
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process. And I want people to come in, and we need the people. Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
They're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of
you know
miles
what?
away.
I
That's
think
not an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President, if I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks. have
That's
had-
enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me. That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts
Well,
his
I'm
butt
not a
like the
big
rest
fan of
us.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly said...
You aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course of
Okay,
the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course of the last several days of the campaign, Sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said Democrats would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you
Because they're
pitting
very weak on
Americans?
crime.
Why are
Excuse
you
me.
pitting Americans
Peter.
against one another, sir?
Peter, what are you trying to be him?
No, I'm
Peter,
just asking the question.
Let me just tell you. Very simple. Because they're very weak on crime.
Despite the nearly 1.8 million tests that you say the United States has done, the Inspector General for the Department of Health and Human Services released a report today, a survey of more than 300 hospitals across the country. And the number one complaint from those hospitals were severe shortages of testing supplies and
Well,
a
it's
really
just wrong.
long wait time. I mean,
It's
a
just
week
wrong.
or longer.
And did I hear the word Inspector General? Really? It's wrong. And they'll talk to you about it. It's wrong.
But this is your own government.
Well, where did he come from, the Inspector General? What's his name?
It came from the Inspector
No,
General
what's his name?
report.
What's
I
his
don't
name?
know his name
Well,
off the top
find
of
me
my
his name.
head.
Let me know, okay? If
But-
you find me his name, I'd appreciate it.
But sir, these are hospitals
All I can tell
that
you
do
is
not-
this: we
sir,
put up on the
these are
board.
hospitals-
You're going to ask the admiral, but
These are
we are
hospitals
doing.
who say that they're waiting a week or longer
Fine.
to get
You'll
their
speak to
test
the admiral.
results. Why
But
is
we've
it
done
still
more
taking so
testing
long?
and had more results than any country anywhere in the world. They're doing an incredible job. Now they're all calling us. They want our testing. What are we doing? How do you do the 5-minute test? How do you do the 15-minute test? So give me the name of the Inspector General. Could politics be entered into that?
Follow up on this question of the HHS Inspector General. And by the way, her name was Christy Grimm. And it wasn't so much her opinion, but they interviewed 323 different hospitals.
Well, it still could be her opinion. When was she appointed? When was she appointed?
I'm not sure when she was
Would you
appointed.
do me a favor? Let me know.
I'll check.
No,
on
no,
that.
let me know now. I have to know now, John. Let me know now.
But the point
Because
is-
we are doing an incredible job in testing. We are doing a better job than anybody in the world right now in testing. There's nobody close. And other nations admit this. Other nations have admitted it very strongly. Other nations are calling us, wanting to know about our testing. Let me know when she was appointed, would you?
Specifically,
Go ahead,
what
please.
she was saying was that there had been a delay in the lab.
Okay, thank you very much. How long has that person been in government? Could I ask you that?
This did serve in the previous administration.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I see. You didn't tell me that, John. You didn't tell me that. Did serve in the previous administration. You mean the Obama administration. Thank you for telling me that. See, there's a typical fake news deal.
You
Now,
asked me when
look,
she was
look.
appointed. I told you when she was appointed.
You're a
by your
third-rate
administration.
reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay? You asked me, you said, sir, just got appointed. Take a look at what you said now. I said, when did this person, how long in government? Well, it was appointed in the Obama administration. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much. You will never make it.